Welcome to the Militia Gaming Community. I'm Trigger, and this is another wrong build video. This time it's the P1 GTR. Let's go. All right, real quick before we get into the video, I just want to say thank you for being here. I don't think YouTubers do this enough, but I'm really appreciative of my audience. We just hit 80,000 subscribers today, and I just can't thank you enough for being here. You could watch anything else on YouTube. So once again, thank you for being here. And as a token of my appreciation, I've built a Discord with my friend Dave Loves Games that has almost 7,000 members in it. A lot of those people are playing Need for Speed Heat, The Crew 2, Forza Horizon. So go in there, interact with people, and also you might be able to find yourself a level 50 crew. All right, let's get into the P1 GTR. So I did a video already on the P1, but I haven't tested the GTR, and I'm curious, as I was going into this testing, whether or not this car was going to be similar to the other car. And what I found was this car has a very unique handling style. It just doesn't turn the way that other cars do, and it kind of snaps itself about halfway through the turn. But I'm going to get to that in a little bit later in the video. So let's go through the most important part of this whole video, which is the reason why you guys tune in, and that's the engine. The fastest engine for this P1 GTR is the 903 horsepower 3.8 liter V8 hybrid. Now it has a hybrid motor stock, but it's not as good as this one. Unfortunately, this is the most expensive engine for this car. It's $605,000. So you're gonna have to save up quite a bit of money because the car is already expensive. Now you gotta buy a $600,000 engine to make it the fastest it can go. All right, let's go out to Sonic. I'm gonna run through Sonic real quick so I can talk about the handling a little bit, and then I will give you my full track build for this car. All right, so the handling model of this P1 GTR is quite okay. All right, we're done. We're done. Restart, dude. Wanted to tell you guys some things about the handling model, and it just these cars gave me no room to get out of the freaking start box. All right, here we go. Now we're off. Anyway, like I was saying, the handling model of this car is very interesting. It has a very tight turning radius, but it's so super late to react. So you have to turn like super early for some reason. So halfway through your turn is when it will decide that it's going to go ahead and break the back end loose and slide. So it's kind of weird. It does not have the high end speed that we're accustomed to seeing with some of the nicer, faster cars in this game, but it does handle fairly well. So you can actually, oh man, I was really trying to do that turn perfectly, and I didn't do it. And then I slid a little too much on that turn. That's all right. So you can actually race this car fairly well. Not like what I'm doing in in the video, but the car handles okay. I mean, it's super late, so you have to plan for that. You have to drive it a little bit different. You're gonna have to start turning a little bit before the turn comes up, if that makes sense. Because halfway through your turn, then the wheels start to break loose. It's like a really delayed reaction or something. Hey, that's a clean one though, dude. Let's go. Nice clean shortcut, bro. Get excited. I'm trying to film a video here, just getting excited for no reason. Forget it, dude. Got lots of NOS bottles. Why aren't we using them? By the way, when I do these Sonic times in the video, this is not like my best run, obviously, because I'm talking, I'm going through the video. I'm definitely not sweating it out. I mean, I'm not trying, you know? Oh, you see, halfway through that turn, it got a little slippy. And I wasn't planning for it, so look, oh, a little tight. So the steering sensitivity is already pretty high. So I'm not going to recommend that you increase the steering sensitivity. In fact, if it's a little too uncontrollable for you, you're going to want to decrease it. For me, I have it in the middle. I left it right in the default position, which I'll explain in a little bit here with the live tuning. But It's interesting, man. This car is very interesting to drive. So obviously not the best time, right? 244, not really that great of a time. I'm gonna write it down even though it's not my best. 244.43. So I've played with the live tuning for this car, and here's what happens when you adjust it. If you increase the steering sensitivity, you put it all up to the right side here, at all, it makes it almost uncontrollable. It's very, very sensitive. And because the car has a really sharp turning radius, it makes it hard to drive the car. So if you lower the steering sensitivity, it does make it a little bit easier. However, in corners, it's even slower to react. So this is something that personally, I like it right in the middle. I increased my downforce just a little bit because I needed it to not slide in the first part of the turn. So this is the live tuning that I went with, but I think you could definitely play with it a little bit, maybe decrease the steering sensitivity by 1 dot, maybe increase the downforce a little bit, I don't know. But to me, this feels the best, and you're gonna have to maybe do it to your preference, you know, adjust it to your preference. But try this first, it's a good starting point. All right, so as you can see, it's not the fastest car. 244 on Sonic is really not that good, but it is a good handling car. It actually handles very well, which I kind of expected it to handle bad because some of these supercars in the game are really sticky. They want to drive like a track car instead of like the normal Need for Speed Heat mechanics. Anyway, let's go through the track build real quick so you can see the full build, and then we'll move on to a drag build. So again, it's that 903 horsepower hybrid engine with the Ultimate Plus engine parts, the Ultimate Dual Turbo, and the Ultimate 5x3 pound NOS. Again, if you don't have Ultimates, just do it with the highest tier parts you have. Super track suspension, elite brakes, elite race tires, elite plus clutch, elite 7-speed gearbox, and the super track differential. This is the build. Auxiliaries obviously are refills and NOS duration. That's what I do with all my builds. They are the best auxiliaries to use if you're racing. Again, the live tuning is going to be steering sensitivity 0, which is right in the middle, downforce up 2, and traction control off, and drift style on gas. All right, let's see if we can make it take off from the line and go really fast in a straight line. Here we go. All right, to do that, we need to switch the NOS tank to a 1x15. We need to switch the tires to drag because those are the stickiest tires you can get. However, they won't let you turn very easily, so don't use them in a race application, only in a drag application. So drag tires, we're gonna grab one of each gearbox, we do have them, and we're gonna leave the track differential. All right, let's go outside the garage, let's take a look at the quarter mile stat. All right, so as built, we've got an 8.80 on your quarter mile stat, but if you drop the downforce, we should get a little bit better. We do, 8.77. All right, so let's leave it there, and let's take a look at a different gearbox. So let's look at the 5-speed, for example. The 5-speed gives us 8.73, so it's a little bit better. It was at 7.7, remember. All right, so the 5-speed is looking good right about now. Let's go to the 6, see if it goes any lower than 8.73. Let's see. Nope, 8.73. All right, so 8.73 is where it's gonna stay. So that's if you just wanna go for a quarter mile. Now let's look at the difference between the 5 and the 6 in terms of its acceleration, top speed, and all of its stats. So here's the 6, we've got a 2.0 0 to 60. If we do the 5, the 0 to 60 actually drops. That means the 5 just doesn't have as much off the line. I would recommend the 6. Not only does the 0 to 60 drop, but you lose 42 miles per hour top speed with the 5-speed in this car, so you do not want to put the 5-speed in the car for any reason. It just doesn't help. This maxes your top speed at 224, whereas the 7-speed gives you 233, so for racing, 7-speed. For drag, 6-speed. So we're going to do the 6-speed. Let's go ahead and throw up that build card and show you the full drag build. All right, same engine setup as last time with the Ultimate Plus parts. And in this time, we're gonna have Ultimate 1x15 pound NOS. On the chassis, we got the track suspension, elite brakes, and the elite drag tires. For the drivetrain, elite plus clutch, super plus 6-speed gearbox, and the super track differential. Auxiliaries are the same. Live tuning is not the same as your track build. We've got 0 steering sensitivity and -5 on the downforce for drag. So this is the optimal drag setup that you're gonna wanna do. All right, this is the fun part. We need to slide this thing around. We need to drift this supercar. Let's go. All right, so the P1 GTR is a rear-wheel drive car. So in order to get it to drift, we need to make a couple of changes from our drag build. The first, I'm just going to do this because I don't want to forget. We're going to go back to the 5x3 pound NOS. Then we're going to switch the suspension to a speed cross. We're going to leave the drag tires on. And then we're going to switch the differential over to a pro drift differential. So that's the only difference between a drag and a drift build for a rear-wheel drive car. The gearbox, I'm going to put back to the 7-speed. Well, we might end up switching that. Just depends on how the car feels when we drift it around. So let's take this out. Let's give it a try. Let's make sure we gotta have some smoke on these tires, bro. We can't not have smoke. And this car is yellow, so actually it's more of a gold, isn't it? Let's go gold. We'll go gold smoke. All right, let's get it out there. Let's drift this baby around. All right, last thing we want to change though before we drift it around is the steering sensitivity. I'm going to put it all the way up. We're going to leave the downforce all the way down, and we're going to leave the traction control and drift style the same. So here is our drift tuning. Let's go out and see what this thing does. All right, not a lot of angle so far on this first turn. I don't know if I like that. It feels decent to control. It requires a little bit of a handbrake to switch sides, and it doesn't have a big angle, so it's not going to score well. It's going to score okay, but not well. Yeah, 37, which is, it's enough to get 3 stars, but it's not good. So what we need to do is switch some things around. I think the last video I did, we put some speed cross tires. I think we should try that again on this one. Let's just see what happens here. It's going to give us a bigger angle, but it might oversteer. So let's see. Yeah, much bigger angle. Feels pretty good. Actually, this is way better, dude. All right, let's calm down. Let's get some points. Oh my God, it's just so fast. It wants to stick to the ground. All right, 35. I know we can do better than that. I just had a hard time. I wasn't prepared. That was all me. Let's do it again. I bet you we can do better. The speed that this car carries through these turns is absolutely ridiculous. I'd rather it slow down a little bit. Hit that checkpoint. Oh, come on! All right, we missed the checkpoint. We gotta go back. It's just so much speed that it carries. Makes it kind of difficult, actually. All right, so even with all those mistakes, we still scored very high. Not very high. We scored higher than last time. Let's try this again. All right, 43. Man, I don't even like that. It just feels too fast. Got too much grip. Very weird. Try one more thing. Go with a drift tire. All right, this drift tire feels much better, actually. I think we're gonna get a lot more score this time. Yeah, 54. That's it, dude. That drift tire felt really nice. So I originally started with the drag tire. We switched over to the speed cross, and it was fine, but it carried way too much speed. So we went to a drift tire, which lowered the speed a little bit. It actually didn't increase the oversteering because I thought it was going to over-rotate, oversteer every time, and it did not do that. So the drift tire feels really, really nice, but be prepared to countersteer the car. When I mean countersteer, it's when you turn, like if you're going to make a left turn, you turn left, and then you turn the wheel back right to make sure it doesn't over-rotate and spin around. Countersteering. Make sure you guys understand that if you're going to be drifting. But this is actually a pretty good build. I mean, I think you could definitely 3-star all of the events with this particular build. I don't know how well it will work on those long sweepers. It's really good for, you know, shorter, turnier courses. But this is a good build. It's actually decent. It doesn't score as high as I'd like it to, though. I think to really put itself in the above average category for drifting, it needs to score a little bit higher than it does. So anyway, throw up the drift build card and we can move on to the off-road. All right, so same engine, 903 horsepower. We got the Ultimate Plus parts. The important part about this build is the Super Speed Cross suspension, the Elite brakes, and the Elite drift tires. And then on the drivetrain, you got the Elite Plus clutch, the Elite gearbox, and the Pro Drift differential. Auxiliaries don't really matter because we're not using NOS. But this is the drift build. Make sure on your live tuning you have +5 steering sensitivity and I was gonna say +5 downforce, but my brain doesn't work today apparently. -5 on the downforce. There we go. Traction control off and drift style on gas. All right, let's build this thing for the dirt. It doesn't go in the dirt, but we're gonna build it for the dirt anyway. All right, so like always, we test these on HTV-2 and Rumble. This is HTV-2. Let's see how it goes. Not a bad start. This feels like it'll be decently fast on the pavement. Looks like it wants to rotate pretty well as well in the dirt. Seems like it takes a little bit to regain traction. It's kind of slow coming around these corners, I'll be honest. How's it do with top speed? Horrible. Absolutely horrible. Oh my goodness. This is going to be not a very good time, I can tell you right now. This is a little disappointing, but not really. I mean, did anyone really expect this car to be fast in the dirt? Because I didn't. Even with NOS, look at this. Even with NOS, 120, 22, 23. It doesn't even get to 130. That is just sad. Honestly, it's just sad. Here we go, final stretch. 155. 155 is not very fast. I think the threshold between fast and not fast is about 152. So the fact that it's at 155 is, that's not good. Oh, we'll write it down anyway. Now let's move on to Rumble. All right, here we go. I got low expectations for this one as well. The takeoff is just so slow already. Wow. Not even gonna pass Vladimir on this before this first turn. That's pretty terrible, honestly. He almost clipped me there. I guess it's not fair. We can't be too mean to the P1 GTR. It's supposed to be a track machine, not an off-road rally car. It definitely struggles with traction. So I think what I'm gonna do is increase this downforce just a little. We're gonna increase it all the way. See what happens here. Still slippy slidey, but not quite as much. Increasing that downforce is gonna hurt it maybe on the top speed though. It doesn't really. It's about the same. So by increasing the downforce, it actually regains traction just a little bit better coming out of turns. So I think we're gonna leave it just like that. It's just not very fast. Just not moving fast at all in the dirt. Like this is 6th place. I should be lapping 2nd place right now. I'm having a hard time lapping 7th place. That's nuts. This thing is insanely slow in the dirt. I definitely do not recommend this. Alright, last 500 yards. We lapped everybody but Vladimir, which is crazy. God, that was slow. That might be in line with the Raptor, I don't know. 330! Ugh. 330.11. Oh my goodness. Whew. That's not good, man. This is a terrible off-road car. Absolutely terrible. Alright, let's throw up the off-road build card. Let's just get this part over with. We got that same 903 horsepower 3.8 hybrid engine. You got the Ultimate Plus engine parts, Ultimate Dual Turbo, and the 5x3 pound NOS. Super Rally suspension, Elite brakes, and Elite off-road tires. Elite Plus clutch, Elite 7-speed gearbox, and the Super Rally differential. We've got auxiliaries are refills and duration. And then as far as the live tuning goes, you've got steering sensitivity +5, and I would go downforce +5. It does help it in the turns, and it doesn't hurt your top speed too much. So I would do that for your live tuning. Off on the traction control and gas on the drift style. All right, let's talk about this car in general. Let's sum it up. All right, so all in all, this car is a little bit disappointing, but where it really excels is the handling. I think the handling, although like I said, it's delayed slightly, I like the handling of the car. It has a very sharp turning radius, and it's something that you can actually use to race if you're not going for like the fastest cars in the game. So like on Arian, I can run a 254, which kind of puts it in the neighborhood of like top 20 or fringe top 20. According to the cars I've tested, it's around 16, 17, 18, somewhere in that range. But it's not like the fastest car in the game. It's definitely not. It's definitely somewhere around 20. That's it. I won't go any farther than that. As far as drag goes, it's really not that fast. You know, it's somewhere in the 8.7 range, which is not very good. Drifting, it's okay, but it's not great. It really just left me wanting more. And then off-road, it's absolutely terrible. I would never recommend this car off-road. It is near the bottom. It's not quite as bad as the Raptor, but it's very, very close. And so don't ever build this thing for off-road. It's not going to be fun. It's slow. It doesn't regain traction out of turns very well, even with downforce all the way up. Just don't use it off-road. All right, I hope you enjoyed this, and if you want more information on my builds, there's a link in the description for all of my builds. It also has the ranks for each of the cars and how they compare to the other cars. I know I've seen a few comments lately that have been wanting those ranks put on screen, but I'm actually just going to keep them as a link in the description. You can click it, you can see all the builds, you can have links to all the videos, and you have the ranking system for track, drag, and off-road. I haven't really figured out a way to really rank these cars in drift yet, so I'm not going to do that for now. But all of the other three disciplines, you can see where they rank amongst the other cars. So go check that out. There's a link in the description. And shout out to all the Militia subs for hanging out with me for another video. I appreciate it. We hit 80,000 subs, like I said earlier. Thank you so much. And if you have any questions about this or any video, you can DM me on Instagram, Twitter, or Discord. All right, guys, that's it. I will catch you on the next one. Trigger out.